Underwater adventure, poison mushrooms, and teaching my grandma how to use VR. This week's episode of Silo dishes out some new clues on what's going down. From what the numbers mean on the chalkboard, new information about Solo's past, and all the strategic maneuvering going down in the silo. Keep in mind, this is a non-book spoiler video. I have not read the book, so this is purely sleuthing and speculation. And if you have read the books, you can laugh at how wrong my theories are. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the order says you must like and subscribe, so definitely take a moment to do that. After last week's revelation that Juliet's silo might meet the same fate as Solo's, Juliet scrambles to find a suit safe enough to get back to Silo 18. The only trouble is, the firefighter suit she intends on using is submerged underwater, so much of this episode is Juliet figuring out how she's going to retrieve it. And while she is successful in this attempt, what I really want to talk about are those little bits of information we get from Solo. Solo knows a lot about the outside world, which is not normal for a silo dweller. Perhaps it's because he was the head of IT's shadow that he was able to learn these things. He's also in that vault with a super advanced computer. Does he also have a set of those VR goggles like Bernard has in Silo 18? Of particular interest is this schoolroom, where a mysterious set of numbers are written on the chalkboard. I think Solo knows what these numbers are, but doesn't want Juliet to know, which is why he says no one would mind if she erases them. They certainly don't look like numbers 11 or 12-year-old kids would have scribbled all over the chalkboard, so what are they? My guess is that these are dates. Notice how the last 4 digits go up by 1 year per line, but what I don't get is why they all start with the number 55, which I guess technically could be the letters SS. Another interesting piece of information is that all these numbers are crossed off until we hit the year 2031. Perhaps whoever was doing calculations here was trying to figure out the date this catastrophic event happened, which forced everyone into the silos. Solo talks about sitting next to a girl in class named Lapis, but we never get a straight answer why an adult would be sitting next to an 11-year-old. Let me know if I missed something glaringly obvious here, but it almost felt as though Solo may have been put in this class because he has the mind of an 11 or 12-year-old. This would explain his love for the circus, animals, wondering if Juliet was in his imagination, and why he was bad at remembering the 4-digit code to get back into the vault. Now, if that's the case, why would he say he was the head of IT's shadow? It could be that Solo was lying, or maybe this was something Russell told him to make him feel good. The way you'd tell a kid they'll be the next president or something. Solo also mentions how Lapis liked his blue eyes, plural. Something happened that discolored one of them, and it's a touchy subject that he doesn't want to bring up with Juliet. The medical term for different color eyes is heterochromia, which can be the result of genetics or injury, and I'm guessing it's injury here. I really think there's a lot more backstory to Solo, which I hope we'll dive into, including what happened to these 2 dead bodies outside the vault. I'm also curious what Juliet has in mind for the helmet, because I didn't see her come out of the water with anything of this sort. Will she repurpose the one she broke, or find something else? Perhaps the biggest turn of events for the dwellers of Silo 18 is the death of Judge Meadows. From the get-go, Bernard has done everything in his power to quash a potential rebellion, and this includes manipulating the people to turn against those down and mechanical. And he is willing to sacrifice his arguably best friend and former lover in order to maintain the status quo. Meadows has long since wanted to go out, but has recently become a liability, thus he poisons her. But it's what happens after she is poisoned that I find really interesting. Bernard brings out what can only be described as a VR headset. He asks her if she ever used such a device when she sat with, quote, the Legacy. I believe this is the first time we've heard of such a thing. I'm guessing this is some sort of advanced computer that can link up with this headset. Maybe it's even related to that computer behind the vault. Could the Legacy even be a reference to a person? This headset is similar to the one found in the cleaning suits, but instead of projecting something fake, it shows recorded videos. In this particular instance, a Costa Rican jungle. Meadows' dying words asks Bernard, what did humanity do to lose this world? Bernard then has Meadows' body made to look like it was stabbed by a rusty knife owned by someone down in mechanical. This is to get the already furious folks from the upper silo and mids to face off against those in the down deep. What I'm curious about now is who will fill Judge Meadows' spot. Bernard had total control over her, so who will fill that role, and how is a new judge even chosen? There's also the mystery of where Meadows went after she stepped down as Bernard's shadow. 25 years ago, the day after she stepped down, she disappeared for 4 days, but she never told Bernard where she went. My own crackpot theory is that she might have had an abortion and it was Bernard's child. Bernard is obsessed with everything Meadows knows about the hard drive, and we get some interesting information here. This drive had something to do with the head of IT during the last rebellion 140 years ago. On this drive is a letter partly written in code, but Meadows says she, quote, can't tell him what it said. The name of this head of IT was Salvador Quinn, a name we haven't heard on the show yet. However, if you watch the Rebecca Ferguson Breaks Down Fan Theories video, which Apple released a month ago, there is a clip of the pact with the name Salvador Quinn at the top. Moments later, we get this shot of one of its pages where, if you zoom in, you can see a few letters are underlined which spell out the word proceed. I wonder if this book is needed to decipher the hard drive's coded letter. Even leading up to her death, Judge Meadows did everything in her power to find out the truth behind Juliet, the hard drive, and Lukas Kyle. You might remember Lukas as the man who helped Juliet in Season 1 and was subsequently banished to the mines. It's in this scene we really get to see just how much Meadows knows about the world, how the flashing lights in the sky are giant balls of gas known as suns, and how she confirms Lucas's theory that our planet revolves around one. In Season 1, Lukas was sentenced to 10 years in the mine, which Judge Meadows reduces to 5. She wants to know everything he knows about the lights he watched in the cafeteria. In fact, it's the cafeteria Meadows asked to visit one last time before she dies. She's been obsessed with the outside world for decades. It's part of the reason she wants to leave the silo. I doubt this is the last time we're going to see Lukas. Imagine being him and the judge just blows your mind with all this information, and later that day you find out she's been murdered. He is definitely going to want answers. Last episode, Knox hinted that he knew what these names on the wall were. Not only are they victims of the last rebellion, but countless rebellions before that. The wall even lists various reasons for such rebellions. However, they all have something in common. Mechanical was always blamed for starting it. This lets them know that there is some force at play here actively manipulating the silo to make Mechanical look like the culprits. Their goal for now is to ask the judge to send out some exploration crews to find out what's going on outside. But with Meadows now dead and Knox and Shirley framed for her murder, it looks like their rebellion will be squashed before it can even begin. Paul, fueled by his own quest for the truth, finds out the body of Patrick Kennedy, who was involved in the firebombing, was taken by Judicial. In fact, he may still be alive. Paul is already suspicious that something is going on. Even if he ends up getting to Patrick and finds out he's alive, I think he's going to be shit out of luck. Remember that Sims promised him this memory-erasing drug, so I figure he's not going to remember a thing. Now we get into the trailer sleuthing part of the video, where we go over this season's trailer to see what could be in store in future episodes. I won't be going over every clip, just the ones I think are relevant going forward. We still haven't seen this device used to disperse papers that say Juliet lives. I still believe this is one of Knox's ideas, and he's called on this guy from the workshop to build such a device. Is this Lukas? He looks like he's in some sort of mine. I wonder if he's made it out. Juliet here in front of someone who does not look like Solo. She talks about how she needs to get back to her silo, so this would mean we're either in a new silo or this is a new character in Silo 17. Later on, we'll see Juliet in what appears to be that firefighter suit. I wonder if she's making her way out. Here's an interesting clip of a machine that animates a cheetah. The animal made me think of Solo's circus talk, so I wonder if this may be a flashback. And of course, it looks like we're definitely headed for a rebellion with Knox and Shirley at the helm. The question is, will Juliet arrive in time to warn them about the dangers of going outside? We still haven't seen this underwater breathing device, so it looks like Juliet will have to go even deeper into the silo, perhaps to get herself something to use as a helmet. The Rebecca fan theory video released by Apple also has some cool new shots, like Bernard leading someone into this room. It's filled with ancient artifacts, books, and a display of our solar system. I think this could be one of the rooms behind the vault. If we go back to this shot of Juliet, the background looks a bit similar. Does she make it into Solo's vault and the rooms beyond? Another Another shot of this mysterious room here. There's someone behind Bernard wearing a vest. Is it someone he's brought in, or do different people live here separate from the silo? And that's about it for this week's video. Now I turn it over to you. I want to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe, and for more bad takes you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember, Daddy loves you very much.